So today I thought I'd explore the idea of your life purpose. And I'm going to try to make it as simple as I can because I do believe it is simple. You see, I believe your life purpose, my life purpose, is to simply live and experience your life to the fullest. And here's what I believe, is that there are no boundaries to what you can experience. There are no limits to what you can experience because life is infinite. And your mind has the ability to focus on whatever it can. And so, by where you place your focus, you create an experience. But so many times we see something and we don't experience it. We bypass the experience. And I'm here to tell you, experience everything. Even if it's a contrast that you don't want to necessarily have, if you're having it, fully experience it because it's going to create a new desire. It's going to show you a new path to go down to create a more expansive and fulfilling life. And so, before you can experience anything, let me ask the question, how do you know your truth? How do you know who you are so you know what you're experiencing? So I've got 5 questions here for you. And these are going to take some deep thought. The first question is, what created you? Where did you come from? It's a great one. I look at it this way. I believe there's an infinite. And if I believe there's an infinite, I know there's nothing else. And if there's nothing else, then what I do know is I can logically deduct that the infinite created me. Then you ask the question, what did it create you out of? Well, again, if there's only the infinite, then it created me out of it. And if it created me out of it, then I must be perfect because I'm created out of the infinite and there's nothing for me to judge myself against. Why did it create you? It seems logical to me that it created me and gave me the ability to be in a world of duality, a world of contrast, so that I could experience life, so that it could experience life through me and as me. Because the infinite can't experience, because in order to experience, there must be something other than it. But there isn't. So it created me into the world of duality where I can have that experience. Then the next question is, if this is true for me, is it true for everyone? Well, the answer is logically yes. Because if there is one, it is infinite, it's all that is, it created everything, then whoever you're looking at is an individualized, unique expression of it. Then I say, well, knowing all of this, what's holding me back? Then the question is, what is my greatest fear and is it real? Well, what is the greatest fear? I think the greatest fear is I'm going to die. That's the illusion. You may not have a physical body when you pass from this dimension into the other. You may not have your ego, but I truly believe that logically your awareness, that point of consciousness that you are, does not die. And I believe that all of the people who have reported near-death experiences, and that's all we have, are near-death experiences, because we've really not gone to the other side to be able to see, they will tell you there is nothing to fear. Nothing at all to fear. So let's go back and let's look at this. Your purpose. Life is to be fully experienced. And when we understand this, we will not try to avoid contrast, but rather embrace it as a catalyst for us to become more aware. You see, I broke my hip. Yeah, that was a bummer. But what was the contrast it let me know? It let me know I needed to slow down It let me know I was moving too fast. It let me know that I do have vulnerabilities, that I am not invulnerable in my human body. And I was getting a little cocky about that. And the fact of the matter is, I was moving too fast. And so it was a blessing. And most of the time, it's disguised, and you've got to find that and look through the disguise to realize the blessing. You may be in a relationship that's not working. What's the blessing in it? If you fully experience it, it's telling you where your life desires to go. And you got to be grateful for that person who may no longer be in your life, but they led you to the point where you could see the possibility of a new life. Everything in our personal experience depends on our emotional reaction to life. And that's based on our personal relationship to the infinite. You see, when we talk about experience, experience is something that we can only have because we have 5 senses. And because we do live in a world of duality. And so when we understand that we have 5 senses, everything that enters in that we perceive goes through a filter. And depending on the filter, we have an emotional reaction. Most everything that we respond to is a reaction. It is not a response. It's a reaction. And it's based on whether or not we believe we're one with the infinite or we're separate from the infinite. And that's really an important thing to learn, because if you believe you're one with the infinite, then you see everything as on the way and not in the way. But if you don't have a relationship with your infinite nature, then you see it as a roadblock, that it's stopping you. And you have these emotional reactions of fear, of anger, of guilt. And that's not really where life is. We can experience anything we desire, as there is nothing big, small, or limited to infinite consciousness. Infinite consciousness is always responding to us, to the nature of the mental image we give it. Some people give it a mental image of being a billionaire. Some people give it a mental image of never having enough money. And the universe says yes. Whatever the image is that you truly believe, that you're living, the universe gives to you. It's demonstrating as your life. But you're never limited except within your own mind. And your job, your purpose, is to go beyond the limitation, to experience more and even greater and greater and greater life. Because we are all one with the infinite, no one experiencing perfect health, happiness, or living in abundance need feel they are depriving anyone else of their ability to do the same. And this is really a big thing to understand. You do not deprive anything if you become wealthy. Everyone else has the same ability. You do not deprive anything by you creating a healthy lifestyle and a healthy body. Everyone else has that same ability. You do not create unhappiness because you have a great, happy relationship. You're not taking anything away from anyone else because they have the same ability. Everyone has the same ability, the same power to use. So don't go denying yourself anything. If you're achieving more than someone else, you're an example to them. You don't put them down. You don't judge yourself against them. You simply realize that your life experience is what you've created in your mind. And life is just reflecting back to you. And it's doing the same thing with everyone else. The homeless person has a belief structure, and they're having an experience of that belief in their life right now. And they have the ability to change it right now. You see, once we develop an inner awareness that creative intelligence resides in us, we are no longer concerned with the opinions of others because we know what our true source is. We know who we truly are. We don't need to be validated by other people because we understand that our thoughts create. Knowing that, we can now use that to create our most perfect, wonderful, and magnificent life. You see, true security only comes when we understand and embrace our relationship to the infinite, when we embrace our infinite creative nature, when we embrace that the truth of who we are never dies, when we embrace that we are love expressing, when we embrace that there is no heaven and hell, but rather there is contrast that leads us and gives us the ability to experience greater and greater and greater love. It comes back down to this, and this is the basic premise of everything we teach at Agape. Nothing changes until you change, because everything begins and ends with you. Do you know who you are? Do you know why you're here? Do you know the power that exists within you? Are you fully present and experiencing every moment of your life? Because every moment of your life is gold. It's precious. It's unique. Because you are unique. You are precious. And my friends, you are worthy of whatever you can conceive. So change for you. Change to be the greatest you. Change to experience the greatest feeling of love that you can possibly imagine.